Hey, it's your casual engineer slash producer here. We're here with another guest. Who we here with today?
I'm AZ. I'm an artist. I know a thing or two about conspiracy theories. Ready to talk about it.
Yeah. So we're doing something different. Instead of just like a plain interview or what's your goals, motivation and stuff, let's switch it up. We're going to be talking about conspiracies. And this is actually a client at Casual Music too. But so what's up, man? What we here to talk about? Let's start off with something everybody familiar with.
We got to start with the meat and potatoes. I would have to start off with 9/11.
Ooh,
it's a fun one.
9/11.
It means a lot. It's controversial. Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
First things first, it was definitely an inside job.
Yeah, right. 9/11 back in 2001.
It was fishy, to say the least. If you look into it, which I have a lot, it's definitely fishy. First things first, how are you about to find a passport out of a plane that crashed into a building within 2 hours?
Damn.
Within 2 hours, 2 streets over. But you couldn't recover the black box out of the planes. And do you know what the black box is?
No, what's the black box?
The black box is in every single plane that flies. It's designed to survive plane crashes. And the reason is it records all the audio within the plane.
Okay.
In the case of a crash. So you can investigate it, look at it.
So like it starts recording audio before it crashes it?
Like the whole flight.
Okay.
No matter what. It's like a safety precaution.
For sure.
Which makes sense. But the thing is, none of them came up from 9/11.
Damn.
I think one might have been recovered. But
that's the one that crashed in the field, wasn't it?
I'm not sure which one it was, but the point is, it was redacted. It was there's no information on it. The other ones just weren't found. But you're telling me, out of all these planes, the black boxes in all these planes, they weren't recovered, but we found a paper passport 2 streets over within 2 hours of the incident that happened. And on top of that, we knew that must have been a terrorist. We looked at that and we said, you know what? This passport, that's a terrorist.
Right. And then around that time, what was it? We was in the war with Iraq during the Bush time, right?
Not yet, but that we were.
Oh, they had to build us up.
We were gearing up for it, and they said they had weapons of mass destruction, which we never found. We found out that was a total lie.
And this is Bin Laden time. No.
Yeah. And what's funny about Bin Laden is, just to kind of take a shortcut here, Alex Jones, the biggest conspiracy theorist ever, called that 9/11 would happen to a T a month before it happened, and there's video of it.
Damn.
He said there is likely to be an attack on the World Trade Center, and they will likely put it on someone who is a known CIA asset like Bin Laden. He even called Bin Laden before it happened.
Damn.
So point is, okay, you got the passport, right? Like, how does that happen? That makes no sense to me. Okay, let's go to the plane crash. The plane crashes into the building.
Which one? We're talking about the Twin Towers.
The Twin Towers.
Okay.
And you get a plane that crashes into each one. But in one in particular, I can't remember which one, there was about 15 stories on top of the plane crash where it happened. We're talking physics now.
Okay.
So you got 15 stories above.
So 15 stories. Okay.
Above.
Yeah.
So this building is all steel. Yeah. All the way down.
And it's supposedly flame-proof too, right?
Supposedly. Yeah. It was actually coated with it. Okay. They coated it with like flame-proof stuff like they do all buildings.
Yeah.
So you're telling me this 15 stories, after it burns there for a while, you're telling me the jet fuel burned all four corners of the building at once, and then it collapsed, and these 15 stories crushed 90-some stories below it, which weren't on fire, straight down at almost free fall speed, precisely within 0.2 seconds of free fall speed. That would say that there is nothing stopping that 15 stories from crashing the 90-some stories below it. It's as if there was no resistance between all the way down, because it collapsed all the way down.
Bombs. bombs. So even when a while ago, like even around when 9/11 happened, it was firefighters that was saying it was like it wasn't just a plane, it was something
There
else
was
that
explosions.
was exactly.
There's interviews with firefighters and other people too who say, "Oh, there was explosions." And how else does it fall like that? How else does a building? It's not. It hasn't happened since then, before then, or after. Like never, ever.
Damn.
Steel all the way. If you look at the structure of these buildings, they're steel. All the way down. All the building or all the structure below it.
So
was
damn
on
near
fire.
withhold a plane crash.
Yeah,
For real.
so then on another topic, like you got the fact that the Pentagon came out, I think the day before or within that week, saying that they were missing $3 trillion.
It's like someone that took it out knew a plane was about to happen.
It's like, oh, well, we're missing $3 trillion. Look at this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that too, yeah.
And then you got, what's his name? Larry Silverstein, who owned the buildings.
He owns the Pentagon or the...
No, he owned the Twin Towers.
Damn.
At the time. He had taken over ownership not too long before that, I think within a few years. And then he switched the insurance so that his new insurance would cover terrorist attacks.
Damn.
And you know what he got paid out? About $8 billion.
Damn.
$8 billion.
Paid a billionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gosh, bro. That was a big agenda on that. Cause I remember around that time, like, it made America scared of like Arab people and stuff like that.
And then let's not forget too. Yeah, it turned us against Iranians.
Yeah.
But it also united the country.
Right.
Which would be good if it wasn't a planned attack.
Right.
But it unified everybody. Everybody was like, yeah, fuck it, go kill these people, right? Like that's not healthy or
asking or nothing.
Yeah. And it's unhealthy. Like, and then we have a 20-year war, which we accomplished nothing. We accomplished nothing.
Okay, hold on. Sorry to interrupt. This is back with Bush. You think that has something to do with his oil company?
I don't know about the oil. It could have. I mean, Bush is a sketchy character all in all. I mean, he was involved with Bohemian Grove. His family was. Like, if you look into, again, Alex Jones, when he snuck into Bohemian Grove and got video footage of these elites and presidents doing rituals in the woods, like talking about worldwide plans or whatever they're talking about.
Where's that at?
It's out in California.
Cali. Damn, that's where they all go. It's like something that has to be censored around Cali. How far from Hollywood?
I believe it's closer, like northern.
Okay. That'd be crazy if it was like at Hollywood.
Yeah,
that would be very.
I mean, Hollywood's
skeptical.
in California still, so it's like that's what they do. And like that, what do you think they're doing in the woods? All these elites with all this power, like you think you're just having a good time camping?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when they're worshiping this big owl statue, like, which again we got footage of. Like, it's not a conspiracy.
So what's up with the owl statue? What is
the
that?
Owl? The owl represents Moloch. Moloch. I believe that's how you say it. He is essentially like a demon entity who you do rituals, and in the ritual in Bohemian Grove, there's something along the lines of like in the smoke you will see the answers or the future or something. So I don't know what their purpose is, but they do it, and that you can see the owl statue, and in the ritual they burn a small eulogy or what looks like a small person,
like a
which
kid
is
almost?
a kid. Because
Damn.
this ties back to ancient times. Moloch, you sacrifice a child in order for something. Like I said,
like
it could be
food, water, like shit like that.
Something like that, yeah. You're trying to achieve something, and what the reason is, I don't know. But obviously, and then you have the child trafficking thing going on.
Yeah, and that's big. Definitely big over there, especially when they be snatching like the immigrants. Like, it was like 200,000 kids one time missing. Like, what?
Yeah, so what are they doing with these kids? Why do they go missing? Why are they never recovered? Why is there so many of them? Why is the child trafficking ring bring in more money than all of the airlines combined?
And it's cameras everywhere. How is this shit just getting by? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a whole secret society from what I've pieced together. And you know, it sounds crazy, but it is crazy.
Yeah.
We're also on a floating rock through space You know,
Right.
like everything's crazy.
See, well, about back to that story with the people in the woods and stuff. That remind me of Cabin in the Woods. You ever seen Cabin in the Woods?
I think I have.
So Cabin in the Woods, it was like the government or scientists would get these people in the woods and stuff, and they would like go through like little scary trials, but they had to die though. But like they had like one girl was a slut, you had the athlete, and then you had the damsel in distress. They had all these certain type of people for this ritual, and they would do this ritual like every like couple months in the Cabin in the Woods. But the government would get these people and had to do it, and it showed that at the end the people got away. A couple of them didn't die, and what fucked up is the people was like, I don't understand. If this ritual don't happen, the world's gonna end. And then the ritual didn't happen, and like a demon came up out of earth and fucking destroyed it.
From what I understand, if you don't please the demon that you summoned, like you're gonna face something from it. But I mean that's what, from my understanding, they do. They literally are sacrificing children. I mean, there's been allegations of it all over the place. To me, it's blatantly obvious when you have that many kids missing.
Right. And like these ain't just people with mental illnesses.
These are people
like
running our country.
Right. So they know some shit. You know what I'm saying? They hiding some shit, they doing some shit, and they also keeping us in a place of control. Like
and that's the thing. You gotta divide everybody, because especially in America, we got guns. Americans can be crazy, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like we're not gonna let people trample on our rights. At least that's how it used to be.
Yeah.
But that's how you gain control is, I mean, for one, like 9/11, you create a catastrophe and then you lose.
Create an enemy.
Yeah, you create an enemy, get everybody together, but also divide them too. I mean, it depends on what phase they're in, but like that's how they work. You have to have fear. You have to have people scared. That's the only way. Because if we all united, especially with guns and being Americans and other countries too, you can't have that. There's too many of us versus that little tiny population that's controlling all of us.
Yeah, bro.
Who are doing just the most fucked up things to us. I mean, you can see it. We just found out fluoride's in our water. Atrazine.
Damn.
What about atrazine? Everyone made fun of Alex Jones because, the frogs are gay. Like, well, that was a real study.
Damn.
That was a real study. The atrazine turned the frogs into like some form of hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
But if you can Google right now, go type in your zip code on Google and see what's in your water. You can do that.
Damn, I didn't know that.
And atrazine is listed on there. Luckily, where I was, there was no atrazine in it, but thank God. But there's fluoride in it too. Like, you can't even buy fluoride because it's like dangerous.
So why you think they putting this in there? Why? You think
the reason is essentially depopulation. It's like an anti-human agenda, which is sick, dark. It's like more than power. That's why, like, I don't know if you're religious or not, but like, it's more than just power almost. Like, it's evil. Gods. They're trying to like eliminate humans. And how do you do that? It's like I said, it's a long time.
We're not going to get into the AI yet.
Wait on that.
Yeah, because that's going to be one of the ways.
That's our replacement. That's our first string taking our spot.
Right, exactly. See, so what I think is one of my little conspiracies, one of my thoughts, it's all about that pineal gland. I feel like if a lot of people was living natural and holistically, people get downloads. You ever felt something or?
I have. Which I did some shrooms once, and
woke your ass.
But no, I'm not kidding. It was the craziest thing. I did it for other reasons, but I ended up sitting in my room and I thought I could hear frequencies and stuff. Like,
I'm just being with the oneness.
I'm tripping balls, right?
And shrooms is natural, so
yeah. And that was like the one time I've had like information downloaded to me. It was like this, like almost poetic, biblical type stuff. Like, I am everything and I am nothing. Like, that was like a message that I got from that.
Oneness, bro.
But that guided me towards hermetic principles, which are like as above, so below, vibration.
The laws of the universe.
Yeah.
Law of polarity,
gender,
attraction.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense even down to a molecular level. Like, you have polarity, like you have positive and negative electrons. That's how like the atom works.
Yeah.
And it makes sense all the way up to like our whole bodies and how we
Yeah.
interact and everything.
Yeah. And
So-
you know what's my bad to interrupt again, my bad. But like, you know what's, cause this shit's crazy. You know what's crazy is when you read a lot of successful books about successful people, they follow these principles.
Yeah.
Like they know something.
Because it makes sense. Like if you just put down what you were taught and just go in with an open mind, you can start to kind of get it. If you just look around, like it goes the same with like division, like how we're being divided, like race, even skinny,
Genders.
overweight, gender, black, white, whatever it all is. Like
left, right.
When you actually go talk to people, you realize that most people aren't divided. Like you can get along with most people. You know what I mean? When you go talk to people, do your own research instead of listening to like what the media is telling you. Like, oh, white people are bad, black people are bad. Like, no, no, it's not like that. They press that for a reason.
I got something about that because like I had an interview with a politician who's running for state rep, and I even told him it's like I kind of was born to be a Democrat. Like, I didn't even know what a Democrat was, and I was saying I was a fucking Democrat.
Yeah, and how
you know what I'm saying?
And how fucked up is it that you have hundreds of millions of people in America, but you got to pick from two parties?
Right, literally. And then when I start doing the research of what's a Democrat, what's a Republican, I'm like, well, I fuck with some of this.
Yeah,
I fuck with some of this. I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that. I'm just like, bro, I'm categorized into this shit.
And again, like when you go talk to people, like just in general, like if you just go out, you will realize most people are in the middle.
Yeah, literally.
And what's funny is if you go so far left and so far right, they're like the same thing.
Yes, bro. It's
the craziest thing to me.
Yeah, I think that shit is very, very crazy. And it's just how people like let people pick on how to move and decide their life without them deciding themselves.
And
you know what I'm saying?
And the thing is too, like they got us all fighting about like below the line issues, which would be like, I don't know, like abortion, you know, like just take like abortion, for example. I mean, yeah, it's important, but do I have a baby?
Yeah.
What's my opinion matter how I feel about it?
Right.
Let me deal with it.
Right.
If it comes up, and it's a woman's body too. Like that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But they get people fighting about it. But then in the meantime, they're taking over 50% of your income for tax.
Right. Yeah.
The average person pays taxes to the government till August every single year. So then after August, you keep your little profit, and then you go pay your bills and.
Yeah, bro. So just pay you just enough to stay and sustain your stuff, but don't give you too much to where you can actually get that freedom or seek that.
And now they're killing the dollar. Like it's done. Like it's happened. Like if you didn't know, they
got a new currency in Africa, the gold currency. Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. They used to be the U.S. dollar was traded internationally. It was like the currency. That's why we didn't.
It was universal, pretty much.
Yeah, all across the world because we had oil and all this stuff. But now it's not. The BRICS nation took it over, and they're going to a different currency. So that's why our dollar is tanking, and that's why we have inflation through the roof, and it's gonna get worse. On top of that, Biden drained our oil reserves, and no one really knows this. Our oil reserves are about wiped because remember when Biden came into office. He said low gas prices, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's supply and demand. It's because he drained our oil reserves. And now we're about to run out, or at least very low. So now the demand or the supply is way too low. So now I guarantee you the gas prices are going to skyrocket even more than they are.
And everything is going up like electric, insurance, and everything. It's like they want to push us to a limit.
And it's all by design. Like this was the plan.
Land is getting bought out by big companies to where you can't even buy land.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then China's buying all our land. If you just look at it, how is it not obvious this is a bigger plan to destroy our country? And we don't even have morals anymore when it comes to music, to anything.
They don't really know how to grow stuff, our medicines and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're not allowed. If you have a good solution to something, they'll kill you.
Yeah, exactly. The herbs. No, you can't say that's witchcraft. You can't say this will heal you. When it freaking will.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not allowed to do that. Like, no holistic healing. No. Go to Big Pharma. Let them tell you you're broken.
Exactly.
Let them tell you you're broken and that you need a pill that you'll live on.
Yeah, but that pill will mess something else up. That you need another pill, and another pill, and another pill.
I have food.
Exactly, bro. I have a story with this one dude I had an interview with. He had cancer in like his stomach and stuff like that, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, you got cancer. This is pretty bad thing. They started putting him on chemo pills. Well, he only took like one batch of it. But while he was talking to his doctor, he was like, it ain't no like holistic, natural way. And the doctor was like, I'm sorry, but that's imaginary. That don't work. That don't work. So dude took the first round of chemo pills, but they kept making him sick, worse. He's like, man, I'm stopping these pills. So he stopped the pills. He said he ate greens like 2 times a day, at least 2 times a day, and vegetables and fruit. And guess what? He was healed. He healed himself. He went to the doctor, healed, and the doctor was just like, how'd you do that? That's unbelievable. And he was like, bro, he's like, I was eating greens and fruit. He's like, no, you didn't. What's the real reason? The doctor didn't believe it.
And you can't almost blame the doctor because that's how they were taught.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets confusing. Like, yeah, the doctor should know the best, but they don't sometimes. Like they've been taught wrong. We've all been taught wong. We don't know.
Fucking Christopher Columbus discovered America.
Yeah, you're right. Like, what do you mean?
Right, bro. Yeah, that shit is just crazy. So it's like leading to like what, the Great Reset?
Yeah, essentially, or the New World Order, which there is a book about Klaus Schwab, the head of the WEF.
What's the WEF?
World Economic Forum. And people don't even know about this.
Yeah.
So you got the WEF and you got the WHO, World Health Organization. These are where our regulations come from during COVID.
Is that CDC? What is that called?
It's kind of tied to it. That's like our local branch of it, if you will.
Okay.
But that's the thing. They set the regulations for us. And what did they tell us? Oh, stay inside, wear a mask, take this vaccine that we don't know nothing about.
Right.
And
almost made that bitch mandatory.
Yeah, no, they
for
did.
Some jobs,
they cut people out of the military. That's why our military is low. Our military is at a quarter of what it should be right now.
Damn, some nurses didn't want to do that shit.
Yeah. So that, again, part of the bigger plan, you weed out the strong people who won't take the vaccine. You keep the weak people in who took it. Right? So we'll dive into another thing here, like with the military specifically. You weed out all the true Americans who like freedom. We have freedom to choose.
Yeah.
Get rid of them. Okay. Well, now our military is too low. They sent letters out begging people to come back.
Yeah.
After they didn't take it. Well, of course they're not going to go back. So what do we do with no military? Well, we got all these immigrants coming in.
Just about to fucking say that.
Yeah. We got all these immigrants coming in. And of course, I'm not racist for saying they're illegal. That doesn't make any sense. Right. They're illegal. They didn't go through the process. And especially when they're all military-age men.
Yeah.
And on top of that...
Where's the kids and the women?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, there was last time I checked, there was over 30,000 Chinese nationalists also involved in that.
Like coming into America? You good?
Yes.
We got a fucking open gate.
Yeah, come on in.
Got an open gate.
So again, let's loop back around. What do you do when the military's low, when we need a military, but no good Americans want to serve in the military?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we offer...
y'all came into our country. What's up?
Maybe we make it mandatory. You get citizenship if you serve in our military.
Damn.
Okay, so what if they're in our military? Maybe... all your rights go out the window for American people. You got to think, a lot of these people come from places, because it's not just Mexican and Chinese, it's everybody. A lot of these people come from places where you're not free. So they don't have any, I guess, like morals when it comes to they need to listen.
Yeah.
So do you get what I'm getting at?
They used to watch heads get cut off and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like real different poverty than the American kids go through. Like these kids go through different. Like.
So what am I going at? It's the fact that these people will end up in our military, no doubt, because we need military, right?
Right.
Who's going to fill that place? Okay, well, they're in the military. They're in our police force because they work their ways into this position, right? So what happens? What happens when the government wants to do a fucked up thing and we got immigrants, people that are not naturally American, in our force? What would they do to us?
Yes.
In a time, maybe they release another virus, which we know now based on in court when the NIH, National Institute of Health, admitted that it came from a lab. It was gain of function research.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't from a bat.
See-
So what happens next time when there's an emergency and no one complies? Maybe they send the military in.
The new guys, and this is what we kind of talked about before. Where I think, and then with the prices of raising, gas prices, everything is raising. Americans ain't going to be able to pay for that shit.
No.
So what you think the government is going to do? They're going to be like, oh, well, we got so many people becoming homeless and stuff. Let's make a building that's government funded, and we put them all in one little area because like this person can't pay nothing, this person can't pay nothing, and we just control the foods, we control the water. It's almost like that in the projects. The projects. That's why they call the projects the hoods. They already done did it at a small scale.
And you want to
feel me?
You want to touch on that too, real quick. What makes me mad is they blame like essentially like white people for racism against blacks.
Mm-hmm.
You know where there is racism against blacks, but it's not from me. It's not from the people I know.
Right.
It's from the government, the one who keep them down, keep the black
mental
community.
chains too. Mental chains.
Yeah,
too.
and they'll offer like you can be on welfare or whatever, but you can't make too much money.
Right.
We're gonna keep you on that.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep you down.
Give you food stamps in the house to live, but you can't be with your baby daddy.
No,
you can't start a family.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't have a man.
Hey, but then let's blame everybody else for it.
Yeah.
And then get everybody divided.
You got kids getting raised by against women or nothing, but you got kids getting raised by damaged single women.
Right.
That's already going through all this and that.
Jordan Peterson has talked about that, the dangers of growing up in a single mother household. Like not like it's not okay.
Yeah, but sometimes women go through some stuff. Yeah, that's
you got to have the father figure. I mean, I grew up in a single mother household, so like I kind of see that.
Right.
But that's the thing. Like to me, it's blatantly clear it's by design, and it continues to go on. But I do think people are waking up to it.
TikTok, which they're trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
That's why they're waking up. Right. America's trying to take control of TikTok. Not just get rid of it, they're trying to take control.
Yeah,
make it their
censored.
shit. Exactly.
And all these components we just talked about are how they gain control and how they ruin us and gain control for them. I just wanted to touch back too, because I forgot a very important point about like 9/11. Do you know how many buildings fell?
Oh, it was the two twins and the Pentagon, right? That got hit.
That's what I believe 2/3 of Americans think.
Mm-hmm.
There was a third building.
Whoa, for real?
Right, yeah. And I mean, I could pull up a video of it if you don't believe me, but it was called Building...
I'll put a clip in there. I'll put the clip in there.
So Building 7, it was technically still part of like the World Trade Center building.
It was in New York?
Yeah, right. It was right almost beside the towers.
Mm-hmm.
This building fell for no reason. They said because of fires, but no other building fell.
Damn.
And it collapsed straight down.
Yeah, and when you watch demolition videos,
yeah, dude, I'm telling you, look up Building 7. No one knows about it. It seems like, and this whole building just collapsed.
Damn.
It didn't get hit by a plane.
Damn.
They said it was on fire. Well, if it was on fire, it must have been on fire hot enough, minus the jet fuel, to burn the steel on all four corners and make it collapse all the way down.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
But to loop back around, like that's why it ties into like gaining control. And obviously that was fishy, and we lost rights. With that's when the Patriot Act came into play. Edwin Snowden, I believe it is. Edwin Snowden? Just look up Snowden.
Okay.
He worked for the FBI. He was a whistleblower, and he came out...
Around what year? About the 80s? 90s?
Right around 9/11.
9/11, early 2000s? Okay.
Yes. So he came out, and this is after the Patriot Act, which was enacted after 9/11 for safety for us, to make sure there wasn't terrorists just out and about. He came out and he said, the government is spying on you. Because that
was 2001, right?
That was early, yeah.
Yeah, before tech like that. Ring cameras and shit.
Yeah, and that's what he said. And he came out and did it, and he's still living in Russia to this day because he had to run away.
Damn.
Because they're still trying to prosecute him.
Damn.
For basically snitching, saying, yeah, the government's spying on you. So it makes sense, don't it? They gain power from these buildings, this terrorist attack.
Yeah.
And another thing about it, you won't believe this. In 1965, I believe it was, when JFK was president, the CIA came to him. JFK seemed to be like a good guy. In 1965, they offered a plan to him. This is during the Cuban Missile Crisis. We wanted to go into Cuba to get Castro, but we had no good reason to do so. So the CIA said, "Hey, we got a plan, and you can look this up. You can actually find the .gov or the document. I've just read through it the other day to make sure I wasn't crazy."
Right.
And they offered, "Hey, maybe we do terrorist attacks on American cities, on our own people."
Yeah.
And it wasn't just one terrorist attack. It started off
60s.
small.
Yeah.
And it started off small with like fires and stuff, chaos a little bit. And then it evolves into maybe we fly drone planes into towers.
Damn.
This is in the 60s. So it's not direct evidence that something was fishy, but isn't that a little fishy?
Yeah, that's very fishy. And I feel like a lot of shit started in the 50s and 60s. Because, like, all right, well, let's go back to the fucking 30s. Let's go back to where America changed its whole education system. Go back to where, who was running the pharmacy? Exactly, with the pharmacies and shit like that. Let's go back to that. Like even since then and shit like that, like, shit's been fishy down to the moon landing, to all that shit. Like,
yeah, it's, like I said, I mean, Rockefeller bought pretty much the country via oil.
Was it him and Rothschild?
Rothschild, I think, goes back further because they were based out of England.
Yeah, and then it's based on but back in the Titanic time too.
Yeah, all this shit, and the Titanic looks fishy too nowadays. I haven't dug into that one enough.
Right,
but it literally, Rockefeller said, "I want a nation full of workers, not thinkers."
Yeah,
so what does that tell you about our school system, how it works? Hey, read this book. You can retain information that doesn't make you smart. That's what I've began to realize. People can't critically think, it seems like. Like, you might be a doctor, but like, let's look at the facts. Like, when it comes to like these conspiracies, like 9/11 has so many anomalies in it. Even evolution does. Like 200,000 years ago, between I think it was like 100 and 200,000 years ago, our brains doubled in size for no reason. But evolution can't explain it, but we're going to stick with evolution.
Anunnaki.
Yeah, maybe.
We're going to get hit up.
Because it makes sense. I mean, something must have happened, because how else do you explain it?
And what's crazy is, these people, them upper people, they know. Because what's the great Alexandria burning of the library and shit?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, exactly,
probably
bro.
sitting in the Vatican now.
Yeah, bro. And then all this shit, like even the books and ancient books in Africa all got scrolls, all got burned. And no, bro, they took that shit. They read through that shit.
They know what they're doing.
They know how to control some shit. You know what I'm saying? I always say this, psychology's been around for a long time. You don't think they figure out how to control
smart
people?
These people are smart. And that's the thing. Like, people don't think like it could be like a coordinated plan to do this, but
they got too much faith in them. Like, oh, they wouldn't do that. Read your ingredients.
There's a KGB agent in the 80s, I believe.
What's that? KGB.
So it's like the CIA, but like for Russia. So my theory is, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
And it's around the Cold War. You said the 80s, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But, like the CIA was founded back in, I think, like 57 or 67, somewhere in there. But you got the KGB, you got Mossad, you got all these little agencies, and they seem to work together to create catastrophes, gain control. It's tied in with the United Nations. Sandy Hooks.
Yeah.
You can't question Sandy Hook.
Right.
And I won't do that because you're not allowed to.
Right.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but there was definitely some.
Do you think that's part of that little...
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, Sandy Hook's touchy, but at the same time, you're allowed to question things.
Right.
In a world where you're not allowed to question things, that's not a democracy.
What's the with the Black Lives Matter that the group, not the Black Lives Matter, like around that time, they was talking about a group that was associated with them. Antifa? No.
Antifa.
Is it?
That was it.
Yeah.
I didn't know a whole lot about them, but I know about Black Lives Matter, and I know that all they did was profit off all that.
Hell yeah, they did, bro. That shit was all like a scam type shit. I mean, I get the quote, but the whole organization was fishy. And a lot of them videos that said Black Lives Matter that the black people did, I saw a lot of white people for real, bro. Flipping them cars, doing all this, causing commotion. And they came from other places in a bus to ruin other people's cities.
That's why they're smart. is because they pull on your heartstrings. I mean, in 2020, I was definitely more liberal than I was Republican. I don't identify with either, but now most people would label me as like right wing conspiracy.
Same here,
Republican. But the thing is, they're smart in this approach because at the time I didn't know nothing about politics at all.
Right.
And because I didn't agree with it. I'm like, how am I supposed to pick two parties? Fuck this. Like,
yeah.
But then you get a catastrophe like COVID. Well, now you're forced to participate. So then I was all for it. Black Lives Matter, yes, because they pull on your heartstrings.
The saying. I say the saying, like the saying Black Lives Matter. Like, and people always get it mixed up with the organization, but I get it is organization too. But.
Yeah, because that's why they're smart. Because like,
and that's what you was spelling for. You was just spelling for.
Yeah, and I went and fought for that. You know, I was supporting. I was like, wear the damn mask. Like, fuck it, it's not that bad. But then you find out it's all a lie. And that's what got me into conspiracy.
You start thinking about science. Like, bro, just stand 6 feet apart with a mask.
It's been proven the masks don't help.
Right? You got people like fucking working right next to each other. Like, it was just goofy. It was some goofy
walk
shit.
in the restaurant with the mask, but sit down, then you can take it off.
Yeah, right. Like,
it's almost like an insult.
Right. Like, do y'all know how the fucking flu works? Like, it's like, that's not going to, like, stop.
And then don't get me started on Fauci. On Fauci.
Oh, what's that?
You know Fauci?
No.
He's the what is he? He's like the health guy in the government. He was the one saying, wear the mask, I'm a doctor, whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But then you find out, so I did some digging. Like I said, I don't know all the specifics. You won't believe what this motherfucker did. I swear, it's evil. From what I understand, there's a whole book about him that RFK wrote called The Real Fauci.
Damn.
And
talking about him?
Yeah, so we had the whole COVID
RFK,
thing.
who's RFK?
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Is that the one that's running for president right now? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
And now I think he has brain worms or something.
God damn.
And his uncle got killed by the CIA.
God damn.
So, he wrote a whole book about him because what Fauci did was went to Africa and gave essentially Africans a bunch of different diseases for gain of function research to see how they would react to like HIV,
Bill Gates shit,
HIV and AIDS and shit
before they let it out in the hoods.
Yeah, fuck it, went through there. He killed so many people. So many people. It's documented. I haven't read the book yet, so I can't really speak in detail about it, but I know that much. And this is the same guy telling us to take the vaccine, do this. Then you got Bill Gates.
The same guy, bro. Bill Gates was saying that too.
Remember when I said the WEF? Bill Gates funds 80% of it. The Bill Gates Foundation.
Damn.
Yes. And Bill Gates ain't a fucking doctor.
Right.
He's not.
That's some real shit.
The guy builds computers. He might know about a virus, but it's in a computer.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. Then he bought a bunch of farmland, he got hands on possible meat, the fake meat and shit.
He's trying to grow fake meat and make us eat it because apparently meat is too heavy on our carbon footprint, which. Again, the average day-to-day citizen does not make a carbon footprint. Right. Guys flying in jets.
Right.
Burning all this oil.
Right, bro. That shit is crazy. And then I think he just got ownership on a big olive oil company. So he's about to have all the olive oils. Olive
oil's not good for you either.
Yeah.
If you didn't know.
For real?
Yeah. You got to get, what is it? There's a certain type. It's like the pure version.
It should be cut nowadays. Cause like,
do you know why... seed oil is in that, right? So seed oil,
that's not good.
The seed oils, that was from Rockefeller back in the early 1900s. They made it as a car product.
Yeah.
And then they had a surplus of it and they're like, fuck it, give it to the people.
Right, give it to the people.
That's a fact.
Damn, I didn't know that, bro.
So they have been trying to like fucking kill us.
Sometimes I'll be taking shots of olive oil. For real. Just little teaspoons and shit, for real.
Well, I can't remember what it is. It's like the pure olive oil.
Yeah, a lot of shit is cut because I learned that when I started selling like oils and organic products and shit.
Yeah,
and it's certain companies with they'll be like 100% avocado oil. Nah, bro, it wouldn't even be that for real, bro. And it was just like you got to like really. It depends on the freaking company. It's weird. It's like they can say it's this, but it's not.
Even vitamins. Like I'm big on vitamins now. Like I take vitamin D, zinc, like all these vitamins, and you got to like. Watch out because they're synthetic.
Yeah.
Most of them, unless you go to like a I think you can get some of like jungle gyms, like, but they're expensive as hell. But
Right, like everything to keep you fucking alive. Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like that with the foods. Like even the healthier foods is more, a little bit more, and stuff like that. But I'm starting to realize, like, starting to see a lot of people starting to get more conscious about their eating and stuff like that. Shout out to TikTok. But yeah, starting to get more conscious and stuff like that. Like for real.
No, yeah.
And then a lot of it starts off with that. So I'm about to. So I have made a post saying we're going to be talking about conspiracies. Let's see what someone commented. Let's talk about one of their comments. We probably we already hit
several. Quite a few. We
already hit several of them.
I'll go on this while you're doing that, because the big conspiracy is the New World Order. And what that is a communist takeover. Most people, and it's all over it's every country. But what you'll find is people, for one, don't even know what communism is.
Yeah.
People can't tell me about the Bolsheviks. It was the first communist coup that ever was successful in history. It was in Russia.
Uh-huh.
So
is communist bad or good?
Like, it's bad.
It's bad.
Millions die every time.
So what is communist? Is that
communism?
Is that like an organization?
No, it's a way that's
like a government.
It's a way that society works.
So you have kind of like socialism.
Yeah, like democracy. And then you got
dictatorship.
Well, dictatorship essentially is communism. So communism, what it is you own nothing. Everyone works. The government provides for you. They present it as
this is America.
They present it as like this utopia, which on paper it sounds good, but if you look at history, every single time millions die, because if you don't comply with what they want, with what the government who is supplying you, they murder you
or put you in jail.
How about Nazis? That was communism.
Well, we about to get somewhere else. Hold on, we get back to these, but talking about that with the Nazis and communism. It coming over with all these scientists, and then all of a sudden,
Operation Paperclip.
All this shit that ran so different in America and all this shit. And like you even say, like you said, they don't even really teach what communist is.
Right? Why is that? Isn't that weird?
It start to sound like familiar.
Yeah, it's awfully weird. Like they don't teach you about it, but if you learn about it, so you can start with the Bolsheviks. That was the first communist coup that worked. Like it was successful. They killed 4 million Christians in order to get that. Or talk about the Nazis, where they murdered Jews. Or what about Mao, how he took over China, the most recent one.
So all these type of invasions, as you can say, is pretty, you could kind of see it happening now.
To a T, because they use the same technique. So they'll use the environment. They'll use equality. Even gender. Gender was brought up during the Nazi times, like where they were like, oh, like the same thing we're going through now. So it is on paper, historically backed, that this is happening. If you just look at the facts. So Mao, how he took over China, he got all the youth from like first grade all the way up to college thinking radically, like we got better ideas, we know better than the teachers, we know better than the old culture that...
Sorry, Gen Z, but that sounds fucking familiar.
Sorry, but yeah. So they tell them they know better, they infiltrate the schools, start teaching them weird shit, and now you got this gender stuff. Well, then they know better. Well, then Mao, what he did was weaponized all these kids, and it started off small. We know better, whatever. But then you get to the point to where their
ego get bigger.
Yeah, and you get to the point to where they're tying teachers to chairs and spitting on them, publicly humiliating them, like for their opinion, because the kids thought they knew better and they outnumbered the teachers. So then it got to the point they start killing people. It was a war between the Chinese nationalists and the communists.
And it was like a war like that happening in Russia. I remember it was saying like some of Russians are like going against each other because it's like they're having a split too. Like everybody's getting
I could see it. Big and it's probably by divide. Like that's how they do it. And like I said, this is a worldwide takeover, but now it's happening here. You can see it in the schools with the ideology that doesn't make any sense.
You're a cat or a dog. Like.
Yeah. And so it's the same thing as back then. It was in like the mid 1900s or early 1900s when it happened to China, where they tie them up and spit on them. That's the same thing as going viral on Twitter for being racist,
getting crucified,
or being homophobic or whatever. It's the same concept. And then it got to the point they ended up killing like millions of people, and even like, so they killed millions, like Stalin killed millions, but that's the way China did it. The most recent one, who supplies us with all of our stuff.
Made in China.
So is it really that far-fetched that they're not doing it to us, along with letting immigrants in, weaponizing our youth, confusing them?
And not even just weaponizing them and confusing them, they're also giving them medicines. So like even with the gender, like the transgenders and all these medicines that they take, that's not natural for the chemical balance in our heads.
Like if you feel weird, you should try holistic ways. Try working out, drinking
We're not
water.
trying to point at people.
No.
Y'all do your thing. That's your business. We're just talking, you feel me? But and it's just kind of like messing people's up. Their emotions are up here, down here.
And I can speak. I was on antidepressants at one point. Yeah, I could even speak for it. Like that's why I've seen both sides of it. I was at a real low point in my life. I had to take antidepressants, and it didn't make me feel great.
You had to go what's inside.
So then I quit taking them. I got in the gym, started drinking water, eating better.
We started being what humans was naturally supposed to do.
And guess what? All my depression went away. They tried to call me out. They tried to tell me I was bipolar and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't been depressed in like over a year.
Right.
At least.
You just change up your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
So like when I see all this happening with our youth, they don't know any better. They think someone's telling them the right way to go.
Right.
And it's not.
Yeah. And gym classes not even like gym classes no more. Like you watch videos of back in the day of American gym classes, bro. They was running, doing like now they really don't push you to be athletic. To be
even when we were in school, if you don't remember, there was always like a chick or two or a guy in pajamas, like not running. Like,
exactly. And they just kind of just let that fight and they started getting more and more.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Because they understand like that lifestyle. I know one girl, she had depression real bad. She like hated herself, hated her life. And then she had stopped eating junk food and stopped drinking pop and started going to the gym. Yo, she's like the happiest girl ever. And she even said that. She even said, like, talk about the medicine she was on. It's like, yeah, I'm on these medicines. You don't understand how to take all these medicines doing that. And then she actually like decided to try something different. No, it's scary. You don't want to think your doctor's doing something and poisoning you, doing nothing. Because she would say, my doctor. And then she was just like, all right, what she was doing was not fucking working. It was just calming the problem down for a little bit, but the problem was always there. So she actually started getting into other things, started like, all right, like maybe I need to change up my diet or maybe change up the things I do. And she did. And now she's like the happiest girl ever. She stays in the gym, happy. She's going out doing
it's like
bunch of shit.
It's like a business. You get in what you get what you put in it. Like it's your body. Like your body's a temple. You got to take care of it. If you're not doing the base level things for your body, no wonder you feel weird. No wonder you feel anxious,
sad, or fucking you're tired every fucking hour.
But then you got the professionals that tell you, "Oh, you're broken. You're broken. Take this pill. This will fix you."
Yeah, the professionals.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, take this pill. This will make you feel better. But then you need this pill to counteract this pill.
Yeah. And the same about one girl. It was another girl, different girl. She said when she gets tired, she takes a Adderall to get her back up, but then it also gives her like anxiety, so she has to take something for anxiety. But the anxiety pill causes her to be down in depression, so then she has to take a depressant on top of that. But then that depressant makes her tired again, so then she has to take an Adderall on top of that. Then god damn, it's a loop.
And then you got like bad food you put in you that's gonna cause issues down the line, which guess what, you need medicine for.
And guess what they do. I always peep this as a kid. Everything I watched, it was like they always tell her, let's pour a shot of liquor or let's drink a beer on this one. And then like I even will get older because I grew up around like a lot of alcoholics and shit. I'm like, they showing this shit cool and good, but like I'm looking around like my family's guts fucking up, their livers fucking up, they dying, they doing crazy shit, but we're promoting this shit like it's like. Back
good.
Then, like it's good. Back then, they had the cigarettes like it's good. Now they finally make it to where it's bad. But why not do the alcohol commercials like that? Because that alcohol is one of the easiest ways to get someone off track with a lot of shit.
And it's by design, and I can speak on that too. Like, alcohol will fuck you up, and you don't even realize it. Even if you're not a full-blown alcoholic.
Yeah.
What about the sleep that it fucks? I learned this from a podcast of, I can't remember his name. He's a neuroscientist at Stanford. But he talked about the effects of alcohol. Even if you have one drink, you are throwing off your whole night's sleep, damn near.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you got to recover the next day.
Yeah,
You're not fully
hydrate,
functioning.
brains fuzzy a little bit and shit. Like it's been times like I've been through like depression and shit too. But I always peeped it because people don't think of this. They're like, "Oh, I'm depressed. But the day before that, they was drunk. People don't understand alcohol's a depressant. It's like saying, "Oh, I got IBS, but you're fucking eating X-Lax." Well, no fucking shit, you're fucking shitting. But I noticed when I was going through my depression shit, I used to work out, do all this stuff, and then I'll get on like a little alcohol binger and drink like a couple days straight. But I wouldn't work out. But me being drunk would make me eat some crazy ass foods and invent some crazy ass junk food and shit.
Yeah, and it's crazy how that's legal, but like the natural drugs aren't. Like
when weed was illegal, gosh, bruh.
Imagine, like, weed has never done anything to me. I'm a
shrooms.
Shrooms
like,
are good. Like
DMT, like
I mean, everything's good in moderation. Like, I mean, yeah, you can get off track smoking too much weed.
For sure.
You can get off track eating too much.
Yeah.
You can get off track sleeping too much.
But if you was taught how to really use weed though, like, because like they made it to where it's like a fucking you have to stay smoking, but really weed is so. It's so like a delicacy that we don't really think of it like that. Like weed's supposed to be ingested like with teas and stuff like that, and use it for meditation and not just really for just the use, but actually use for its purposes. Like same with the hemp and all that stuff. It's just crazy how a lot of things get turned and
like up is down, down is up now, left is right.
Right.
But it's all by design, and that's like the conspiracy behind it all. You got. Like I said, the WEF and WHO trying to like call the shots for the whole world.
For the whole world. It was like, damn, like, do I like got control of something? Can I think for myself?
I don't know if you like I can't even find the clip anymore, but Klaus Schwab, the head of the WEF, he said, "You will own nothing and be happy." He clearly said this, and in front of people, in front of a podium, like said that in front of a bunch of people.
Damn,
because they're trying to normalize.
And we clapped it. Oh my God, he's so funny.
Yeah, and they talk about
he meant that shit.
They talk about pandemics and all this shit.
Yeah, he meant that shit. But let's get on with one of these questions. I'll have you pick one. Go through the list. Pick which one. One of these conspiracies that someone wants.
The plan of the Illuminati to cover up the existence of God. That's a short one, but yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Because they removed God from schools. That was by design. Like, because even if you don't believe in God, I'm not one to press God on people, but God and religion is good for society because people live with morals when you think that there's something after this.
Right.
When you remove that, you get no morals. You get OnlyFans. You get people just doing whatever with no repercussions, drugs,
right,
violence.
and that's what will cause more mental illnesses and more people to really like divide and shit. Because now you fighting over this, you fighting over that, and they figured out even in the hoods and the projects. That's why it's called the projects. Where you got this drug and people gonna start fighting over it, killing each other, all for this shit. Like this shit is just all fucked up, and it's all a bigger picture because like knowledge is power, and they keep a lot of knowledge from us.
It's crazy. The one with the most likes is Big Pharma, which we covered.
Yeah,
like that's it. Like that's a big part of it.
For real. Like that's definitely like all of that ties in, and then too like the new like you ever notice like back in the day the schools would teach you how to cook, you damn near know how to carpentry and shit like that. Like now they don't really teach you them basics that you really need. You know what I'm saying?
So let's touch a couple here. The Federal Reserve, how much bullshit that is.
So what's the Federal Reserve? Explain that.
Essentially, it's like the government prints money that isn't really backed by gold. It's backed by nothing.
Oh, yeah.
So they get to print money as much as they want and then tax us on the money that they create.
You heard about Mexican president talking about that? He was like, I feel sorry for America because they're getting all these taxes, but when the government is literally printing money. Like he said that he talked out on America's government.
You're talking about oh my God.
It was just kind of recent.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I cannot think of his name. And
he actually said that, the Federal Reserve, too.
Yes, because it's bullshit. And if you want to you can tie that to the Titanic, because the Titanic had a bunch of people who were against the Federal Reserve on it.
Because they kind of knew it was kind of...
And they were fighting against it.
Yeah.
They were on there. Yeah, and then the Titanic sinks or whatever. Like,
so the government is just printing money, but we still paying these motherfuckers.
and that's the thing. We're financial slaves.
Uh-huh.
That's literally what we are. When we pay more than half of our income to the government, that'll go send it to like Ukraine or out of our country. What about our country?
About Flint.
Yeah, what about
the
Flint?
homeless? What's about the veterans that's out there in the streets?
Talk about
War and
homeless.
drugs.
If you didn't know, just to tie in with China and how they own they own most of our farmland.
Yeah.
When Xi Jinping came over, their president or their dictator, whatever you call him, he came to San Francisco. They cleaned up the homeless 100%. There was not a homeless person on the street. As a matter of fact, they had Chinese flags when he came. What does that tell you? You know what I mean?
That's weird, bro.
And no one knows what happened to the homeless people, but they cleaned it up. Our whole epidemic. Well, we can fix it when the dictator of China is coming over.
Remind me of the movie. They didn't clone Tyrone. Have you heard it? You watched that movie?
Yeah.
Bro, it's in the chicken. It's in the hair grease. It's in, you know what I'm saying? But it was snatching motherfuckers up, though. I was like, that shit, it's crazy. A lot of movies, I even posted about this, a lot of movies just be throwing in fucking subliminals.
It's because it's called, this is a CIA thing. There's this is real.
To build you up for some shit?
Yeah, pretty much. It's called pre-programming. So Leave the World Behind, that new movie that came out.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
About cyber attacks on America.
Yeah.
For one, that was co-produced by the Obamas.
Damn.
Which is awfully weird.
Yeah, which I know, huh?
Especially when in the credits, and this would be on the more conspiracy side, not factual, but in the credits it says, if you line up the name straight down, you'll see Baal. Baal. You know what Baal is?
What?
A demon entity.
I knew that. I actually did know that shit.
Why is that? Why is a movie co-produced by the Obamas talking about the world just crumbling, have that at the end, and then you got the subliminal white hatred in it?
Well, even in the movie, one dude already had that bunker ready and shit. A couple people already had a couple bunkers, they already knew shit. It was a wealthier people,
right?
Yeah, bro. And then what they talking about? Mark Zuckerberg talk about his bunker in Hawaii and shit.
Yeah, because the fires not because the fires, but the fires happened that were. They didn't hit Oprah's house. I'll put it that way.
Right. They didn't hit a lot of wealthy motherfuckers' houses.
It's weird.
Right. And then how much they gave them? $500 or some shit?
Yeah. Then they blocked them all off so you couldn't see the fire site and kids were missing.
Yeah. And then there was also multiple fires happening around that time. There was one in Canada or something like that. That big ass.
Canada had a big fire. Yeah, up in Quebec.
Damn.
I had that bar. Wildfires in Quebec. Got me losing my.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah, I remember that bar. Yeah, that was hot. Yeah, y'all definitely gonna have to check his music out. He's about to be dropping more real soon.
Sir.
But so what's another one?
The last one I seen too. This is more of it's not a fun one, but this is a new one. You know about the Malaysian flight?
Was it recently?
No, this is almost 10 years ago, probably.
I don't think so.
So the Malaysian flight, it was a whole plane that went missing. A whole plane that went missing. They couldn't figure it out. There's a whole documentary on Netflix. So I've been following this guy named Ashton Forbes. He has dove into it so much and broke it down to an extent that, there's videos.
Do you think it was taken by government?
Yeah, that's what he's come to the conclusion of, because these videos resurfaced. I'll have to show you. They're the craziest videos. You should put them on here.
Yeah, I got you. I thought
because
some of them
I'm
videos.
telling you, they look. Anybody would say they're fake because it's beyond our imagination.
Yeah, nowadays, yeah.
But look, there's two different videos, two different angles from satellites that got this plane around the same time that flight went missing. These orbs come out and start circling it. 3 of them. They start circling it. They circle it for a minute, and then all of a sudden the plane goes poof.
Damn.
2 different angles, and this guy has been he gets all this hatred all over social media. There was 2 podcasts I stopped watching because they brought him on and they shit on him. So to me, it seems like they're trying to cover something up. Because if you want the truth, look at what's being censored. Look at what you can't talk about. If you want to look at who's in control, look at who you can't criticize. Like, this is a fact.
Right.
So he broke down these videos.
And this was probably like back in the 80s, you said?
No, this is, I think, 2014-ish.
2014?
That's when the plane went missing.
Okay.
These videos resurfaced more recently, like in the last year or two, around the same time. Like, they were uploaded around the 4 days after, I believe, that flight went missing. And they resurfaced. They went all over Reddit, and people are like, oh, that's fake. This is fake, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So this guy did this investigation and is still doing it. You can go on his Twitter page, Ashton Forbes, breaks it all down how this video cannot be faked.
Damn.
Because there's two angles of it, too. And yeah, it seems unreal that some orbs come in and make a plane disappear.
See, that's another thing I was going to talk about, too, because people don't understand, bro. The technology that we have is like just little to compare with what the government really fucking has, bro. They're 60 years ahead of us, bro.
Yeah, that's how it's always been.
Yeah, with the aliens and shit, bro. Like, they've been like back. They was using microwaves before a fucking microwave was invented 20 years before that.
Right.
Shit.
And
same with a little fucking cell phone. People don't believe that shit. Oh, no, they didn't have cell phone. Like, bro, they did.
And then
bro.
they give it to us as little like, oh,
yeah,
here, play
30
with
years
this.
later type shit though. Like,
yeah, they want to keep us in the dark. But that's like the implication of what this whole video is in that missing flight. Is that the government has this crazy technology. It's not even aliens. He's not even claiming it's aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it is. Because what happened too, this is a fact too, during like one of the biggest mysteries is once that flight went missing, they tried to blame it on like a plane crash or whatever.
So did they find it? Did they find the flight?
No? They claim that they found some pieces.
Okay.
And there's a whole documentary on it. But so for one, Ashton Forbes, when he did all this research, he found that we are basically being watched all the time by satellites. They can pinpoint everything.
And
so you're telling me a whole plane went missing, and then not only that, after the plane was missing, the victim, or not the victims, but the family of the victims called some of their phones, and there's video of this that you can find. Their phone was still ringing after the plane was missing. So tell me how, after a plane crash, that happened.
Yeah, their phone would be off and obliterated. Is that the same guy that you said that back in the 9/11 that said, oh, they're watching us? So Dance was another guy then.
Yeah, there's multiple. And people come out and say this shit and people don't believe it. Because it's too crazy.
And then back in 2001, they didn't even have the technology like that. And just imagine now, you got Ring cameras, you got this and that. They really fucking watching like shit. Like,
yeah, they watch everything you do. Make a terrorist threat on your phone.
Yeah.
You're done. Which I'm not saying that's not a good thing. Like,
right,
yeah, you know. But we have no privacy. We have zero. Like, no shot.
Like, that's some real shit. And like, it even like, this might sound crazy. People are like, probably like, don't believe this shit with the Bob Marley, bro. How they killed Bob Marley, bro.
Yeah.
Like, cause he was bringing people together. And like, even the assassin even said, like, he worked for the CIA and they was ordered to kill Bob Marley, and they said he was going against the CIA's agenda and stuff like that. Like,
they're the ones who put all this shit into play. Like I said, they offered Operation Northwoods back in 1965, which directly correlates to 9/11. But these people are horrible. Like MK Ultra, do you know about that?
Nah, I think that's beer, right?
No.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
There's a similar beer name, but MK Ultra, it blows my mind. People don't even know about this. Back in like, I think it was the 70s. They would, the CIA would set up people like pimps, prostitutes, college students, feed them drugs in order to try to mind control them. They'd give them LSD and all this shit without them knowing, and then study them because they were trying to learn how to like control people. This is a fact. You can look up the document.
Damn.
Too. MK Ultra.
They're probably carrying now.
So you won't believe this. This is even crazier. There's a whole book about this too. I have it in my notes because I want to read it. But essentially it shows, well, this is a fact too. Do you know Charles Manson?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He was in MK Ultra. He was part of that study. And then every time, like, there's a whole track.
You think it has something to do with his music too?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I do know that he was a subject of it. There's a whole book about it. I can pull up the name of it. But a whole book about how he was part of it. And I mean, I can't say if that's why he killed all those people and like created a cult or whatever. But He was in that program. So there's a whole track record too of him going to jail for fucked up shit, and then just being let out.
Yeah, I heard about that shit. Like him just being let out and shit. Like that shit is crazy. Like even like back to the Tyrone thing. Like they closed Tyrone. Tyrone, they just kept planting him as a drug dealer on the street. You know what I'm saying? He even got killed, locked up. They put him right back out there just so he could keep carrying out that agenda.
Because that's what they do. And the CIA is the war on drugs. They created the war on drugs, just like they do everything else. They create the problem, create catastrophes,
and then have
create the solution.
It's a business,
and then we lose freedoms, and then bad stuff happens. Like it keeps happening over and over and over and over and over.
Damn,
and it's part of the big plan.
Damn, boy, it's so much shit. It's so much
even
shit.
right now in our presidential thing, like I said,
I don't even think Biden real, bro. I don't think Biden alive. I think he's just being controlled by a little puppet. They just cloned his ass, and they just
either they cloned him or he's wearing a mask.
Biden died 10 years ago, bro.
But I'll tell you this: this is again something you can reference. There's a book called it's about Marxism. Karl Marx. He wrote a book. Is essentially communism, Marxism. So he wrote a book. And what you do in order to gain control is what they're doing: divide, create confusion. Everybody fights each other. But then on top of that, you also demoralize. So that's what's going on.
Oh, with that shake that ass, fuck my baby daddy, like the music and shit, bro. That shit getting out of line.
It's insane. And that's what they do. It's to demoralize everybody. So like no morals, you don't care, fuck it.
Kids, yeah.
And then like with our president, why is so Trump got impeached for whatever reason, right?
Yeah,
Okay, but then you got Biden, who
that motherfucker should be gone.
He can't even read off a teleprompter.
Yeah,
he fell off a bike.
Yeah, right.
So why do they?
He's not a real human.
He's probably not. But that's what I'm saying. It's on purpose. It's to demoralize us. Oh, our leader isn't even competent?
Yeah.
So they're going to keep him there and make people feel hopeless.
They can't have Trump.
No.
They can't have Trump.
And I'm not even pushing Trump. I'm just saying that's why Biden is in there to demoralize us.
Yeah, get someone that's cuckoo.
We have no hope. Our president's fucked. Our country's fucked. No one in the White House knows what's going on.
The blame would just keep going on him while the real people was really like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, again, part of the bigger plan.
Shit, yeah, bro. That shit's just crazy. So much stuff y'all don't know about. But we about to wrap it up here. I just put it on live for a little bit to let y'all just hear a little sample of it. Yes, we went for like a damn hour talking about a lot of shit. But I'm going to be dropping it on YouTube, on the podcast and shit, the Casual Talk. This is a man, AZ, also a client at Casual Music.
Check me out.
Yeah. He going to have some music dropping real soon. He already got some shit, so check on that shit. Yes, sir. Y'all stay in touch. We out. Peace there. You dig.